What's great? What's good? This is your girl Makeda Marie with the Black Educated Tea Podcast, and today's topic is victim mentality. But as always, before we get into the tea, let's get into the tea. I don't have tea today; I just have water. So I have my water that I'm drinking, my spring water. Of course, I don't know. I just gravitate towards spring water, Fiji water. There is a difference in the taste of water. As you become a water drinker, you definitely notice the different taste in water. So, I typically go for just spring water. So that's what I'm drinking today. It's kind of warm, we're getting closer to summer. So I'm actually just drinking spring water. So let's go ahead and just get into the topic at hand, victim mentality. And so I've been, as you know, on my healing journey, and I've been reading a lot of different books. And one of the books I've been reading is by Marshawn, I think Daniels is her last name. I'll get the correct information and attach it. But I think it's Marshawn Daniels, and the book is Believe Bigger. So I've been listening to the audiobook actually. Really good book. And she starts the book out with a bang. So she kind of starts the book out with she was engaged and she found out that her fiance was cheating, and so she decided just to call the wedding off. Really good book, but she has a lot of great information in there. And one of the things I've been taking away from this book is to believe bigger in yourself, want more for yourself, definitely pray for bigger things for yourself. And for me, it made me think about getting out of a victim mentality. You may read the book and get something totally different out of it, because there's so much that you can get from the book, but definitely about prayer. Finding your purpose is probably one of probably the whole purpose of the book is finding your purpose. And so finding your purpose, believing in yourself, wanting more, wanting bigger for yourself, and wanting those things. For me, wanting more, finding my purpose was one I had to get out of victim mentality. And I noticed years ago that I was carrying a victim mentality. Mine wasn't as extreme as some people I have encountered. I have encountered some people that has an extreme case of victim mentality, even to the point that they may be narcissists. I don't like to just throw that word around, being honest, because it's trending. You go on social media, you have conversations with people, and that narcissist word is just thrown around so frequently. And if you actually, I was sitting on the couch one day, this is how I just randomly do things. So I was sitting on the couch one day, and I think I was watching something on TV. I really don't know what I was doing. But I was like, okay, I heard the word narcissist, and this was a while back when it be kind of, it's not a new term, but it had just kind of been brought to my attention. And so I was like, okay, what is this narcissist? What is the meaning of it? And how many people are actually diagnosed with being narcissists? And so I was like, Alexa, what is percentage of people that are diagnosed as are narcissists? And I think she was like 1 to 2%. But there are several ways you can look at that. For one, most people that are narcissists are very rarely going to go get help or go get diagnosed for it. So that may be why the number is so low. I don't necessarily know. I have not done my full research on it. So that may be one of the reasons why the number is so low. And then the number may actually be so low because the cases of people that are actually narcissists is just that low. So I don't necessarily know. I need to do more research into that. I need to look more into it, read more into it, and get a thorough understanding of it. So I just don't like to throw that word around so easily when most people have not been diagnosed as narcissists. But I really do feel like some of the people that I have encountered that have a victim mentality definitely have some narcissistic traits. Are they narcissists? I don't know, because I can't diagnose them. They have not been properly diagnosed, so I don't necessarily know. But having a victim mentality is always feeling like no matter what the situation is, you always come out to be the victim. No matter the role that you have played in it, no matter what. They always say there's two sides to the story, and the truth lies somewhere in between. And that's not to say that you have not been a victim. As I've been doing my research on victim mentality, one of the things is that you may very well be a victim, and you may carry that victim mentality because of things that may have been done to you in childhood and just extreme traumas and this and that. And then there are some people that just, it's easier, I guess, to guilt trip and get what you want out of others if you play the victim. And so there's always two sides to everything. There's yin, there's yang, there's light, there's dark, there's up and there's down. So there's even two sides to when you think of the victim mentality. There are some people that have honestly, experienced being victimized, and so they just carry that on, unfortunately. And then there are some people that may not have necessarily been victimized, but feel like playing the victim is an easy way to get what you want out of people, or to make people feel guilty. And for me, my victim mentality was more of, if I played the victim, I didn't necessarily play the victim to get what I wanted from people. I played the victim to try to get people to feel sorry for me, because I honestly was feeling sorry for myself. So that was just a reflection of what I was feeling for myself at the time. So I would, my victim stories, like I said, it wasn't elaborate. I didn't really have any elaborate victim stories, but I started to catch myself saying certain things or certain mannerisms or just certain actions I would do because I wanted to get a certain reaction from people, which was usually sympathy. And I wanted people to feel sorry for me because I felt so sorry for myself. I felt like I hadn't achieved things in life that I wanted to achieve. I mean, I was surrounding myself with so much self-doubt and, just low self-esteem. So, like I said, a lot of that was just a reflection of myself. And this book, even before I started to read this book, I started to notice that I was carrying on this victim mentality. And I think one of the reasons why I started to notice even before this book was because, like I said, I was surrounded with people with this victim mentality, and I started to see some of their characteristics. And some of the characteristics are, no matter what you do, no matter what role you may play, they are always the victim, no matter what. And I don't want to be that person that I can't hold myself accountable for anything that I do. I'm always the victim. Hell, I don't want to always be the victim. Who wants to always be the victim in a story? I don't want to be the victim in the story. I want to be the one that has accomplished, that has won, that has achieved. I don't want to always be the victim in everybody's story. That's just not my story. And so I started to see that in others. And I think at some point in my life, the fact that I was carrying on that victim mentality mindset, I was attracting people with that same mindset. You attract what you are. And so the fact that I was in that mindset at the time, I was attracting those people. But as I started to heal and as I started to change, their characteristics really started to stand out. It's like you are the common denominator in all of this, but for some reason, you always come out to be the victim. It's what everybody else is saying about you. It's what everybody else is doing to you. You are the victim in every story. And it just no longer served me to be around individuals with this victim, mindset. And that doesn't necessarily make them bad people, but it stunts your growth. It stunts your growth. It stunts you from holding yourself accountable. It stunts your life in general if you continue to play the victim and you can never see that. Let's look at it this way. Say you are the victim in all of these situations. Why are you the victim in all of these situations? That's one way of looking at it as well. And if you are the victim in all of these situations, you obviously need to do something different in your life to get you out of this victim, being in this victim role. If people are continuing to scam you, if people are continuing to mentally, physically abuse you, whatever it is, unfortunately, and you being the victim, you are not to blame for it at all. I have been a victim. At some point, we may have all been a victim of something. But the question is, if you continuously find yourself in a victim role, what are you going to do different so you are no longer in that victim role? Because if you continue to do the same thing, you're going to continue to get scammed. You're going to continue to get mentally abused. Whatever situation it is where it causes you to continuously be a victim, then that is something you need to fix. You need to break that cycle of being the victim and finding out what it is about you that continues to attract people that like to victimize people as well. So there's several things you can think about when it just comes to victim mentality. For me, like I say, mine was, kind of low. Like I say, compared to others that I was around, they were like extreme victims. Every situation was because of what somebody else was doing to them. Me, like I say, mine was just more for looking for sympathy because I felt sorry for myself. I felt so sorry for myself, and life was just not working out for me. And like I say, I am an overachiever, and at that moment when I was in that victim mode, I felt like I wasn't achieving. I felt like I wasn't where I need to be in life, and financially and mentally, physically, nothing just seemed to be working out for me. So it was easier to play the victim. Oh, I'm just so sad. Nothing is just working out for me. Why? Why can't anything work out for me? Trying to garner that sympathy from others. I am no longer in that space. I refuse to have a victim mindset, and I refuse to be a victim. Not saying that, as I go through life, I won't be a victim in something. Something can unfortunately happen where I may be a victim in something. I have no control over that. What I do have control is how I react to it, how I respond to it, how I learn from it, how I move on from it, how I heal from it, how I grow from it, whatever the case may be. So there is never at any time where you just may not be a victim. But how long do you want to be a victim? How long do you want to carry on that victim mindset? How long do you want to think of something that happened to you at the age of 10 and now you're 35, and what happened to you at 10 is still influencing you at 35? It's time to live in the present. God wants you to live in the present. God doesn't want you to live in the past and continue to harbor on what has happened in your past that may have very well influenced your adulthood. You can't deny that. You cannot deny that. But at what point do you stop being a victim and you say, you know what, now it's time for me to make a change in my life because I'm looking at my present and I want my future to be so peaceful, so bright, and not just continue to carry this victim mindset. And it can easily be changed. It's your mindset. You can easily change your mindset, and it does take time. Anything that, pertains to your mind and changing who you are, your characteristics, your habits, those things can be difficult, but you can make up your mind today that I no longer want to be a victim. I want to, if anything, share my story of when I was a victim, but I'm no longer living in that particular mindset. And like I say, for me, it was just changing my mindset that no, I am not a victim. Whatever I went through, it happened, even if it was unfortunate, even situations that were not just, not achieving or being where I want to be. There was no need to be in a victim mindset because of something like that. I hadn't necessarily achieved at the time because it wasn't my time, or maybe because I wasn't putting in the particular work. I wasn't focused. There was so many lessons I took from that. But, as I continue to grow, go on my healing journey, one of the things was just letting go of a victim mindset. And I encourage you all, if you are stuck in that victim mindset, please go get some counseling, get some therapy, get some self-help books, whatever you need, prayer, meditation, just manifesting, whatever you need that helps you get out that victim mindset so you can grow and be where you need to be. I highly, highly encourage it because it's like a weight lifted off you when you let go of that victim mindset. I just wanted to share that with you real quick. That's another thing from my healing journey. I'm just keeping you all abreast of how my healing journey is going. And so that is one of the things that I've let go. And I would love to hear your thoughts, your comments. And as always, it's the Black Educated Tea Podcast.